What's up, guys? Cody here with port tier list for patch 11.7. There was a couple changes to supports in the patch, so that's kind of adjusted the list, and I'll be going over the changes I made and whatnot. So D tier, just don't touch the champions in D tier. Please do not touch these champions in D tier, especially like Zillion's the only one that you can maybe consider, and even then, don't touch the champions in D tier. Same kind of goes for C tier. Just don't. Um, Obviously, like if you really need AP, you can maybe go Zyra, and Zyra's not terrible outside the fact that Zyra, she's a very squishy, mobile mage. All the problems that comes with that, and then you're not playing tank or an enchanter. You're like there's just so many problems there. With playing Zyra, so yeah. If you want a really easy support to play, you can just play Maokai support and just go support with Maokai. But aside from that, don't really touch anything in C tier. I moved Pantheon down to C tier because every time I've played Pantheon, even when I get ahead in lane, I just can't do anything in fights anymore. And unless my team's just really far ahead, then it's kind of just over because the your my ADC when I'm playing Pantheon can't do anything like at all. They just unless they're maybe playing Kaisa, maybe Tristana, then they just can't do anything and they just die instantly whenever they try to do anything. B tier. There's been some changes within the tier itself. I've moved Blitzcrank up a little bit within the tier. I've moved Pyke down just because Pyke is still Pyke is good against the enchanters, and outside of that, oof, do not play Pyke otherwise. Pretty much. Um, yeah, and Rel's been moved down here too. So Blitzcrank, I've been enjoying him a little more lately, so I've just moved him up a little bit within the tier. And Rel's stun lost quarter of a second, so moving her down to B tier. Yeah, the more and more I try to play Rel in solo queue, the more frustrated I am with the fact that I need my team to actually be competent. Um, and I need to play through two people realistically, or I need to have like a fed bruiser in the jungle or in the top lane that can actually get into the fights on their own still. So yeah, the loss of the stun duration is pretty big for Rel. So moving her down to B tier, I wouldn't be surprised if I had her down to like tier patch to be for A tier. The same ones as before, except Bronze moved up to the front side of A tier, and he's slowly making his way to S tier. They buffed Braum this patch again. Um, I don't know why, because right now Braum does very well into a lot of matchups. His worst matchups are arguably the enchanters, and even then he can still manage to come out on top on them, especially if have an ADC that can go in to for you to jump to, or if just the enemy mispositions in general. The only enchanter that Braum would necessarily struggle against would be Seraphine, then maybe Morgana. Yeah, just if you can play well as Braum, then it's good. The thing with Braum is that he is more reactionary, so which is generally bad, which is and why I don't like the enchanters. But you have the abilities, you have more ability to go aggressive and outplay and whatnot. Just more useful than what an enchant. So yeah, the last couple of times I've played him over the last two patches, I've been really happy with how he's felt with like his power level, whatnot. So yeah, overall, really good support that I think is undervalued. Then S tier, Alistar, Leona, Bard, Thresh. Bard's just been moved in front of Thresh, Thresh has been moved in front of Bard because I've been having a harder time fitting Bard into my games. I've been feeling like I needed more immediate lane presence, which I get with Thresh. And then I feel like I needed my teams generally aren't benefiting that much from my Bard ult. I feel like the situations that I would use a Bard ult in aren't really going to be there for the different champions that are being played on my team. So Bard's just been moved down. I still think he's good, but yeah, I think that Thresh is just more more useful in terms of he's better into more matchups right now that are being played. Alistar did get a nerf this patch, but overall he's still gonna be S tier. The nerf does hurt some of his damage, but overall you end up losing like 20, maybe 30 damage off the all-in midway through laning phase. So it's not a huge deal. And yeah, I still think he's gonna be S tier. Chemtank did also get nerfed, so that does hurt Alistar as well. It's not an item that you're obligated to go though for Alistar, so it might just mean that we end up going Locket more often than. And you can still go Chemtank if you want to. It's just that you get a little bit less move speed. So essentially, you have to be a little bit closer to the enemy. And then Leona is just going to be here just because it's Leona. I still don't really play her ever. She's only here because other people. Yeah, and that's going to be it for the support tier list for 11.7. I guess I kind of glossed over A tier having the enchanters, but enchanters are just not solo queue purposes because you put everything onto you rely entirely on your team to do everything for you, and you're just there to keep them alive and play reactive. Against heavy burst, an enchanter can be good as long as like the assassin or mage that's doing a little burst damage isn't too fed. If they're too fed, then you're useless. Because then whoever they're attacking dies instantly. Also, as an enchanter, you can't frontline. It makes it harder for you to get wards down because it's harder for you to face check, even with the increased range on the warding item that they did a while back. And then once again, there is no frontline on your team generally. Generally, top laners, junglers are playing just fighters and bruisers. So you end up not having a frontline at all. And yeah, it generally makes it very easy for ADC to get jumped on, and it doesn't matter if you're playing Seraphine or anything if your ADC is dying instantly. Oh, the garage! Oh, that's gonna get picked up, I think, in the recording. Anyways, I'm done. So that's a great time for people to be getting home and interrupting this. So thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, remember to like and subscribe. And as a reminder, I stream over on Twitch, twitch.tv/CW5136. I stream over there most evenings. So thank you, and catch you in the next one.